Hi, Otto. I'm right here, buddy. You want to say hi, crazy boy? You want to say hi, crazy boy?
Hi.
Look
Oh
at this
my God,
crazy
he looks so
bastard.
happy. I
Oh,
love
he
him.
just went for his second walk of the night, and
Hell
he
yeah,
looks like he
dude.
burned off no energy. Is that true? I know he loves to run into subdivision. Uh-huh. Oh.
I started coming back, and I was going to walk us back to the end of the street, but he knew which house was ours.
Oh,
And he himself turned into our driveway.
what a good boy.
He knows where he lives.
Yes, he does. He's paying heavy right now.
Well, it's long.
Oh, smiling. Hello.
That's really cute.
Otto just recording a podcast.
You like actively recording this?
Well, we haven't like officially started yet,
Technically.
so but we are recording the meeting because I haven't set to automatically record because somebody forgot to record one time. So Bentley's.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my
What's
God.
oh shit? What's Posty's album called?
Beer bongs and
Bon-
Bentleys,
Beer
right?
Bongs and Bentleys. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
No. Ah, man. I don't know. It's and like I don't know because like that's like of my list of dream cars, of which there are several.
Mhm.
That is most decidedly on the list, and somewhat attainable just with the depreciation curve. I mean, like they
Mm.
get cheap as shit
Like
because
old
they
ones.
break. Yeah, like
Yeah.
this one's a 2005.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and it's like still a Bentley.
It's
You
still a
know what I
Bentley
mean?
though. Yeah.
So,
Bentley or Rolls?
so that's a tough question. Um, because it used to be. Do you know the history of Rolls Royce and Bentley?
Not really.
So they were like, for a time, they were the same company. Like they were part of the same umbrella and everything. The Bentley was the Rolls Royce that you drive.
Mhm.
The Rolls Royce was the car that you were driven in,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
So,
That's funny because that's how
um,
I think of them, and I was never
yeah,
told that before.
yeah, no,
Mhm.
and that's very much like the history. It's like a
Okay.
Bentley is more of a driver's car,
Mhm.
whereas a Rolls Royce is a car you're driven in.
Chauffeuring car.
You
Yeah.
know, exactly. So, um, it depends on the model. Like if you're like up until probably that era, that 2005 era where like the Continental GT comes out and those kinds of cars. Um, except in the 30s, like Bentley had some pretty cool pre-war cars.
Mhm.
I would say it's very that's a very very tough question. From if we're talking a Rolls Royce from post-war 1948
Mhm.
up until probably the 90s, and like even some of the Rolls Royces today are beautiful and very cool vehicles, but like I have always had a fascination for like the 48, 49, 50s era big body. Like it used to be that with a Rolls Royce you would hire a coach builder and they would build the coach for you.
Mm.
When they started, I think they started with the Silver Cloud 3. Was I don't know if it's one of the Silver Cloud models was one of the ones that they were building their own. They build the chassis, they'll build their engine, they'll build their body to the car.
Mhm.
Um, so like part of me would love to get one of those like 50s era 60s era Bentleys and like completely redo it, you know what I mean, like modern underpinnings but keep the body and do like kind of a resto mod type deal. um yeah, that is an impossible choice, so I'm gonna have to just go ahead and say Aston Martin instead.
Hey, option C, I like it.
Yeah, no, can't. It's like because they're too similar. You know what I mean? And there are things that I like about each of them. Um, but yeah, until we get to like the '05 era, then it's kind of Bentley more than Rolls, just because fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw one of the newer Continentals, or was it a Flying Spur, whatever it was. Um, while I was at work, and it was fucking stunning. It was like a 2024 or 2023. And it cost $500,000. Like on the window sticker, it said $500,000 was the MSRP. And like, yeah, I'm not going to have one of those for the next decade or so, but maybe in 10, 20 years, yeah, let's go for it when it's nice and broken. We'll see. What about you?
Upper.
Yeah.
Between Bentley and Rolls, I would definitely say Bentley. Just because, yeah, I didn't know much of the history, so in my mind it was like, well, the Rolls you get driven around in, and I'd rather drive it, so
yeah,
Bentley.
And Rolls Royce, I mean, they're.
But also secret door number C, I also prefer the Aston Martin.
There we go.
Yeah, that's the real answer in terms of British cars.
And like, if you're going for something of that like 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008 era, they come down pretty hard. Like, you can look online and find them for the price of a new Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the cheap supercars, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that was the math that made me depressed when I did the math on the Evo. It's like, okay, for what I'm spending on this car, I could have bought an Aston Martin with all the same problems. Like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? So yeah, it hurts.
Hurts to think about.
It's fine. I'm great. This is a car-based podcast. I mean,
it is a car-based podcast. We usually, talk more about the racing car part of it. Do you want to do that?
I guess. I mean, unless you want to fucking try to make me cry thinking about my sports car.
Not yet.
Function. Okay, all right.
I'll try to make you cry about your red car fandom instead. So, welcome back to Backmarkers Formula One podcast, the latest and greatest F1 podcast no one asked for. We're making Ben depressed about his cars and his car fandom right now. So we're gonna try to turn those spirits around.
Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe some spirits could do that? ?
Alcohol gives me a tummy ache. I can't. Yeah.
How un-European of you in this European sport that we sometimes like.
Dude, is that a European thing? I thought that was a Southern thing.
What?
Getting drunk? I don't know. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I said it's un-European of you to not like spirits because it gives you tummy aches. I'm saying that the Europeans do like their spirits. They like their wines and their cocktails.
The French start drinking at 12. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, like it. All right. Well, I'm not going to talk about the French anymore.
They do two things really well. They know how to drink. They do it at 12. They have their wine, whatever, yada yada yada. And man, they know how to throw a protest.
Yeah, hell yeah,
dude. That video of them I think it was during the Farmers one like a couple years ago. They're marching and they're on train tracks because some dude brought like a flat top griddle to barbecue while they were protesting.
No, that's awesome.
Like, they perfected it. You have to hand it to them. They know how to do it. They're perfect.
You do got to give it to them, and you do have to respect them for that one thing. I was gonna make a worse joke, so let's just keep it rolling here before I say something inflammatory.
Well, the other French thing we like that is coming up, well, you like more so than me, that's coming up this weekend, is the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Yes. Yeah, very excited.
I was just watching that NASCAR to Le Mans thing that you sent me earlier.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's cool. Yeah, I'm up. I just they're literally about to start racing, so I got about halfway through it, I think.
Damn. I have not gotten a chance to watch that yet, but
I would watch it. It's cool. It's cool for sure.
I'm excited.
I forgot how enthralling it was for everybody to see a NASCAR at this race. Like, I remember following it along on, because it was Twitter at the time, Twitter.
It's
I remember
still
following
Twitter,
it
but
along
go
on
on.
Twitter. And everybody just kind of being like, this thing's crazy. Like, how are they doing this type of a thing? It was 2 years ago, so I kind of forgotten. So yeah, watching it again, I'm like, oh shit. I forgot they won the fastest pit stop with a manual jack and not an air jacks and all that other stuff. It was like everybody was like, oh my God, what are they doing here? These Americans. They're all working out. They're showing the behind the scenes. They're like the pit crews are working out beforehand, and all the other, mechanics were just like, the hell are
Having a
these guys
cigarette.
doing? Fucking coming to kick your ass. That's what's happening. So no.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, so that was cool.
That's exciting. I'm excited to watch it. I'm honestly more excited to watch the 24 hours of Le Mans. Like, that is going to be so much fun.
Okay, when does that actually start?
I think it's this weekend.
Okay,
Is it
so
this weekend?
Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday? I would imagine Saturday, Sunday, right?
It's usually Saturday, Sunday. 24 hours of Le Mans. Date Saturday, June 14th to Sunday, June 15th. So it
Saturday,
will be
Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday, but like France time. So
right. So
I don't know.
well,
I
still
always
Saturday, Sunday
like
here, just a little
earlier.
earlier.
Yeah, I always like
Yeah.
to watch like late into the night and try and catch it like sunrise in France. That's like the best.
That's
time
your
to watch
ideal.
it. That's it. That's the
Okay.
time. I want to go.
Yeah, that'd be a sick one to go to.
Yeah, we shall see.
And I did not realize how many former F1 drivers are on that grid until you texted me that the other day.
Do you want to see how many I can name without looking at the list?
Yes, because I'm going to pull it up real quick.
Because I had seen the list, you had sent me the list, and I do not have it in front of me. I'm not looking at anything about it. I know Drugovich because he was going to do the Aston Martin seat. I know former Williams legend Felipe Nasser, not Felipe Massa, Felipe Nasser. That was confusing when they were on the same team. Legend of the sport, Daniel Kvyat. He's racing, I think. There is also, this is going to make really, really bad programming because here on out, it's just, let's go for, I've got like 4 different dudes on the tip of my tongue, which is a hell of a sentence to say. But there's one of the okay, all right. We're gonna be sitting here too long if we
There's so many.
Let's not bore the listener.
How about I give you a couple of hints?
Okay.
One won it very recently for a red team.
Very recently. For Ferrari. Oh, Gio and Antonio Giovinazzi.
Jesus, yes.
And then there was another dude who was on that team, I thought, right? Or am I crazy? I think I'm crazy.
Maybe, I don't know. There was a team pairing for Haas who are both racing.
Oh, Magnussen, because he usually does the Corvettes with his dad, and then
he's racing BMW this time.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, and then while it's fresh, Kubica's doing it, right? Robert Kubica.
Yep, he's also doing it.
And then who is his Haas teammate? I feel like I should know this. I feel like I should know this.
You don't remember the Flying Dutchman?
The Flying Dutchman.
I don't think that was his actual nickname. Oh, Jesus, I'm so stupid. He's Danish. That's really bad. That's really bad. Does that give you the hint, though?
Did I not already say Kevin Magnussen?
Not yet. Oh, wait.
I did say
Kevin. Yeah,
because
we talked about BMW.
Yeah.
I don't know what what juice I'm on right now. That was dumb. I don't know why I said I'm going down the list and you said it before I got to it. So there's more
That's not the worst mistake that we've made on this program, I feel like. But also, if we have made a mistake,
that's a pretty bad one. But
no, we didn't make a mistake.
True.
But also send us an email, backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. There's quite a few more. A former world champion.
Former world champion. Vettel's not racing. It would have to be less recent than that. I feel like it's not Mark Webber.
Nope.
I feel like because Mark Webber was not a champion. I feel like it's not David Coulthard either. Like those guys also are the guys that are coming to mind just because they do the Red Bull stuff all the time, the show runs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is the point where I wave the white flag and
a Braun driver.
Oh, Jenson Button. Yeah, because he was doing the Garage 56 car, the NASCAR, a couple of years ago, but now he's doing one of the hypercars.
Now he's doing a real car, yeah. Like a real car that's like actually trying to compete to win. Because the NASCAR car was awesome
in its own
amazing.
Class,
yeah. It was the Garage 56. So even if it won, it wasn't technically going to win because it didn't meet anything specifically. Nick DeVries is in this very, very short-lived
also
F1 career.
Also a world champion in fucking Formula E. Yep.
Pietro Fittipaldi.
Of course.
Jack Aitken.
Yes.
Jean-Eric Verne.
Yeah.
Pascal Wehrlein.
Yes. Williams legend Pascal Wehrlein.
We're starting to get into some names I don't know. This one I do recognize. Stoffel Van Dorn.
Stoffel Waffle, McHonda era. Hell yeah, dude. I hope he's doing well. I want nothing but good things for him. Also, I think Formula E champion. I don't know. If we're wrong about that, send us an email. backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com. We still have not received a single email from anyone, which is hilarious.
Paul DeResta.
Yes.
Will Stevens.
I don't know who that is.
Did you say Sebastian Bourdais?
Bourdais. I did not say Bourdais. No.
Okay.
He's some guy who raced in F1.
Let's see.
Montoya is not racing. Juan Pablo Montoya is not, is he?
I have not seen his name on the list.
So probably not then.
So I'm going to say he is not. He's getting kind of old, though.
He's getting old, yeah.
Yeah. I'll read you the other names real quickly that I don't think you mentioned. Did you say Sebastian Buemi?
I did not say Buemi.
Brendan Hartley.
Oh, Brendan Hartley, fucking whatever they were calling AlphaTauri at the time. Yeah, New Zealand.
And then you got Kamui Kobayashi.
What, Caterham? He raced for Caterham, I think. Yeah, he was a good dude.
And then Andre Loderer.
Name does not ring a bell.
I apologize for all mispronunciations I said there. I have not heard of most of these people, so I apologize on that.
And then the other one is the doctor, Valentino Rossi, one of the greatest MotoGP drivers in all of human history. The guy who tested a Ferrari and apparently was pretty close to some time set by one Michael Schumacher.
Wow.
Yeah, we should do a deep dive on Valentino Rossi. That guy's cool. He's the reason that Lando Norris likes the bright yellow for his color. You know?
I did not know that.
Yep.
Obviously, I don't know much about Valentino Rossi other than I have heard of that name, and I didn't really know what his background or what he was or who he was really.
MotoGP legend.
Fascinating. So he just really liked bikes. He never wanted to try four wheels.
He thought about it. He did some testing for Ferrari, but for whatever reason, he never made the switch.
Gotcha.
And then there was another thing that he did with Lewis Hamilton, where Hamilton rode a bike and Rossi drove one of the F1 cars, one of the Mercedes cars. And that was relatively recent. I mean, within the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
But he seriously tested a Ferrari, and there were apparently talks about him coming over and driving for Ferrari, but never materialized.
Gotcha. Interesting. One of those like what if happens, right? Like what if?
Yeah. No, and honestly, like how people talk about the rally drivers, people almost talk about MotoGP in that same way of like you have to be a certain kind of crazy to be willing to do it, but also you have to be of a certain level of skill to be able to do that. So I think in terms of like interdisciplinary training, motorsport athletes, people that need incredible reaction times, fighter pilots, all in that same category, and fighter pilots of the Masters, but in that same tier, MotoGP drivers are up there. So
gotcha. Bikes are not something I know a ton about, to be quite honest with you. So every time you talk about it, I'm always like, "Ooh, student, let's listen."
No, and like I wanted a motorcycle for a while until I got rear-ended in my first Evo. And then it was like, ooh, yeah, I just got nailed by some dumb bitches when I was trying to turn into my apartment complex. Like, this has cured my desire for a motorcycle getting rear-ended.
Yeah. That was a big one too.
Yeah, you saw the pictures.
Yeah. No, you got messed up. By that one, or your car did at least. But
no, we hung out. We hung out that weekend. We hung out like the next day.
Yeah, that's why I was like, well, your car got messed up, but you weren't really all that messed up because you were able to go out and do stuff then right afterwards. But
I'm proud of myself for not
losing it.
Yeah. No, she goes, are you okay? I was like, yes, I'm okay. Are you okay? She goes, yeah. I'm like, and she starts apologizing and said, ma'am, I am very angry right now. Do not speak to me until the police arrive. And just like, shut the fuck up. Without saying shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, good on you to be just like understand, be like, we cannot talk right now. Yeah, bad things will be said that will be regretted.
If you continue to talk to me, I will call you the C word, and you will deserve it because you destroyed my car, you dumb C word.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna do it. We're not gonna go there. So
aside from knowing the former F1 drivers in Le Mans, anything else you're looking forward to in the race itself?
You know, it's always just a spectacle to see. Like we talked about seeing the hypercars at the Detroit Grand Prix. You know, it's always a spectacle to see like some of the fastest machines out there. And yeah, it's something special. It's always just a really, really cool thing to see and something I'm always just excited for. You know, there's not, I wouldn't say there's necessarily one thing in particular other than like the onboards in the middle of the night and watching those cars fly. And it's cool because like I didn't realize that NASCAR cars didn't have headlights.
Yeah, no, they're stickers.
I mean? Yeah, and like I learned that from Cars. Like the Disney movie Cars, you know.
That's why they call them That's why they call Lightning McQueen stickers.
Which is like it's awesome. Like that's hilarious, but it's also like
that's funny. I can't believe you didn't know that one.
Because like at Le Mans they have headlights. You know the flash. There's a faster car behind you. Flash, flash, flash. I'm gone. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's always really cool to see. So
yeah. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to try to watch. I don't know how. I don't know when, but I'm going to try. But I agree. Those onboards at night are crazy. I don't know if this is true, but from the little I do know, it seems to at least rain at some point in time, no matter what. Is that relatively true or not really?
It's 24 hours, you know what I mean? So it's like a 24 hours of weather, you know? And
well, I mean,
I don't know if it always rains, but the last couple of years, I think there has been rain a couple of times. So
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I mean, we're currently living in Michigan, and if there's anybody who knows about getting all sorts of weather in 24 hours, we're definitely ones to know about it. But at like this time of the year, like it's not like it rains every single day for a little bit. Like in Florida, it definitely does. It rains a little bit every day, no matter what. But I didn't know if France and where Le Mans is in France is also like that. So
yeah,
but
I would not
sound like it. Just
I would not be able to point to it on a map other than France, but that's just because I am an American with poor geography skills. So
I can tell you where Paris is. I can tell you where Nice is. and I can tell you where Normandy is.
Yeah, that's about
Outside
it.
of that, you got I got the northern, the middle-ish, and then the south part of France for you. I feel like that's a good amount of geographical knowledge for a country I've never been to.
It's smaller than Texas, so I mean, like,
way smaller
you're
than
fine,
Texas.
right? Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think they can tell us where El Paso and San
Oh,
Antonio and
absolutely
Houston
not.
and Dallas and San Antonio is?
You said San
Amarillo?
Antonio twice.
I can do that. Did I?
You did.
What? Dallas, Houston,
Well,
Austin. Sorry, I meant to say Austin in that.
yeah, well, you need to say San Antonio
Well,
twice.
actually,
Well, those
they
big old
probably
women
could
down in
tell us
San
where.
Antonio.
God damn, I love Charles Barkley.
Eating them churros.
So good.
I want a churro now. No, like one of my favorite videos is there's a video of Europeans just trying to name American states.
Mhm.
Or like there was like a couple years ago a trend of Europeans trying to name American states. And it's the funniest shit in the world, dude.
Yeah.
Classic. I don't know.
It's like that's
Gotta
right.
love it.
We might not know as much about geography in the European area, but you also don't know much about our geography over here. We all don't know.
Oh, no.
And that's fair, because why would you care? Why would you care where some of our states are? I don't care where some of your countries are.
I don't care
happen
where
to
some of the
know where
states
a lot
are.
of your countries are, so you can't hold that one over on me. For some reason, in high school, this isn't for some reason. In high school, I actually had to do this. We had in ninth grade, we had to learn all of the countries in the world and like write them out on a map, blank on a map.
Animaniacs did that.
We went continent by continent doing it. Europe, I knew all of them. Asia at the time, I only misplaced like 4 of them. Same with Africa. Africa has so many damn countries. It's crazy. It's got like 54 countries. It's wild.
Yeah.
The dumbest one and the hardest one that we had to do for that was Oceania in Australia, because they were like, we can't just give you a quiz that has Australia and New Zealand on it.
Yeah, you can.
That's what I said.
That's
what we all said. So they made us learn all of the like tiny Pacific islands like Tuvalu and all the Samoas and Marshall Island and Cook Island and Polynesian Islands, the French Polynesian Islands, and like all like so at one point I had to learn all of those. There's way more than what I just said, and that knowledge did not stick. So I feel like I'm okay with not knowing all the Pacific Islands though.
So like, not to minimize those countries, but listener, what I want you to do is pause this episode right now. Pause right now. Go to YouTube and search Animaniacs Countries of the World. Like, that is eternal. Like, I don't know all of the countries. Yeah. Oh, yes. It's fucking great. It's
in alphabetical order.
It's not in alphabetical order.
It's not in alphabetical order. Okay.
Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about. I just couldn't remember if it was or wasn't.
I don't know. That video, his voice is just playing in my head, and I hear it, and I have not been able to stop hearing it since we started talking about geography. So, should we talk about Formula One again?
I think we should.
I feel like we got a little off the rails.
We got a little off track. We got into our Le Mans talk, which whatever led into a bunch of other tangents. But yes, Formula One talk. So we kind of talked about it a little bit on the last episode with Monaco and Canada getting switched, but the full calendar did come out. We didn't talk a ton about it. Outside of that, I can't say that I noticed a ton more differently. Obviously, Imola is no longer on the calendar, but I think that was kind of like the worst kept secret. Everybody kind of knew that was coming. Madrid takes its place with the Mad Ring late in early September, actually, or middle September 11th through the 13th. Never forget. So there's that. So we have 2 yeah, I did. So we have 2 Spains.
Forget about what?
9/11, because it's on September 11th. Did I lose you?
No, I guess I forgot.
Well, hey, I just reminded you.
Reminds me of that tragedy. What a terrible name for an airline.
God damn it. So we have 2 Spains. We lose Imola, Canada, and Monaco switch. And yeah, I don't think there's anything much differently on that. I mean, this is something I didn't realize until pretty recently about Formula One is just the sheer number of tracks that have been on the calendar and how much it does switch. I know there's been a lot of like backlash online about losing these historic tracks and everything like that. And I understand that sentiment and everything behind it. But being more recent and more of a newcomer to the sport, I think it's kind of exciting that they switch it up a little bit and it isn't just the same tracks year after year after year. Like, I think it would be awesome if they went back to that. So maybe if they had like some sort of a rotation, that could be kind of cool to see where, pick 5 you always go to every year maybe and say it's Monaco, Imola, Silverstone, Spa, and Suzuka. I feel like those are pretty historic ones. And then maybe you can rotate it throughout. I know there's long-term contracts, like Miami, for example, will be on this calendar for quite a while into the
Until
future.
Miami's underwater, yeah.
So, but I mean, what do you think? Like, do you think that's a decent idea? Like, just having like some sort of a rotation where, you know, certain ones switch in and out every maybe 5 years or so?
Yeah, so and that's something that's been like floated around. Having some kind of a rotation, I think, is not the worst idea in the world. But like, if you try and take Spa away, like you'll have to fight me. You can take Spa from my cold dead hands. That is the best racetrack in the world. Like, it's
Right.
beautiful. It's like, and then you get some other ones that like are good for racing, like Austria. The Red
Mhm.
Bull Ring,
Yeah.
like beautiful scenery in
Mhm.
the mountains of Austria, but also like fucking good racetrack.
Mhm.
That one usually produces a banger.
Right.
So it's there's all sorts of like caveats, I guess, or stipulations that you'd have to throw in there, and I feel like there's too much money involved for them to make a sensible choice of, oh, this one has the best racing, or oh, this is always like the um historic tracker, we always race here or whatever. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, as long as the racing is good, the track is suitable for what the cars can do,
Mhm.
that's kind of the best case scenario, is that they end up racing there. So
Fair enough. Well, it definitely feels like it'll ever evolving. So some of
yeah.
these might come back. I've never actually seen a German race. I've not watched a race at Nürburgring or anything like that. So that'd be
Yeah,
exciting to see someday. Or the
Hockenheim was
Hockenheim
a
ring.
really good race.
Hmm.
The one you didn't watch, the one where Mercedes had this special white livery and then crashed out of the race because of the rain and everything. You didn't see that one?
I don't think I watched that one.
I can't remember if that was
Was that
20.
somewhat recently? Within the
Yeah, that would have
last
been
7 8 years?
2020 question mark. Or when did you
Did
start
I
watching
see that
F1?
one? I kind of started watching around that. I remember watching the COVID year
It could have been
when
2019. No, it would have been 2019 because it was supposed to be the last German Grand Prix, but they added Hockenheim back again because of the pandemic, I think.
and they were looking for races
And
to.
they just needed a calendar and a place to do it, so that's what they did. I think that's what it is. But that was a good track. You know what I mean? Like,
Hockenheim ring,
it's
July 28th, 2019.
19, yeah.
Yep.
No,
I
and it,
might have seen that one.
yeah, worth going back and watching if you haven't, because it was fucking good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, the focus needs to be more on what tracks are going to be conducive to good racing, and ultimately it's about car design too.
Mhm.
You know,
Right. And
so I
cut.
edit out me yawning. As long as the cars are as big as they are, which they are for safety, and obviously safety is the most important thing, we're not gonna have like exciting races at Monaco.
Mhm.
We're not gonna have like, I don't know, Suzuka kind of to a certain extent is not the best for racing because of the big
Mhm.
cars and everything.
Okay.
Um,
It's interesting because it is a designed circuit, is it not? It's not
it
like the
is,
street
but it's
race.
like when the cars were smaller, the racing is a little bit better,
Gotcha.
So I don't know. We'll just hope that things get more focused on the racing rather than the money aspect of things. That's the only point I can really make.
we shall see what happens there. I have a feeling not for a while.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen. Not in my wildest dreams, but such is life.
Never know. Maybe something will change. But good news. The Dacia. No, I'm kidding. There's no Dacia updates yet. Lance Stroll is racing this weekend.
Hell yeah, I saw that. I'm excited
Canadian
for him.
at his Canadian home race.
And that's exciting. You know what I mean? Anytime anybody has to miss their home race is a little bit sad. But I hope he does well. I hope he's not rushing back from this injury again. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes.
It sounded like they had a private test for him, just to see what his condition fitness levels were for it. So I don't know. I guess he passed enough for them to clear him. So I guess that's all you really need then at that point in time, and decisions on you. So, but yeah, cool to see. I just thought that was exciting. We talked a lot about him in the last couple of episodes here. So good update. That was awesome to see.
Yeah, positive news.
Positive news. Yes, we love positive news. That's always good. Couple of other headlines here for you before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of your Pontiac Grand Preview for the Canadian Grand Prix. From interviews today, they were talking to Lando Norris about the intra-team rivalry with him and Piastri, and he had conceded in the interview that it wasn't a matter of if, but more of when him and Piastri would come to some sort of a blow. And he even said that that's something Andrea Stella has mentioned to the team and those two drivers as well. Like, given the state of your cars and your performances and who you guys are as drivers, like, in all likelihood, something will happen. And it's more about just, leave it on the track and don't try to let it take over the rest of your time as teammates together, basically, which is, the right political, good team answer thing to say. But I feel like that has to be coming soon, because if not now, then it feels like if things keep going the way it is, Norris is going to have a really bad case to say, oh, yeah, like I need to, put my foot in the ground now and take over as a team number one before that time is gone.
Yeah, and I feel like, since he's saying that, it's kind of laying the groundwork. Not like,
well, it's unfair because he was prompted with the question.
Yes, and we have to kind of own up to that, but there's a certain amount of I don't even know how I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain amount of the kid saying, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it. And then he smacks somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the championship in Lando's mind is already lost. I think that he's kind of, and obviously, we've talked about it at length, is that I've been a Piastri guy. I've said, like, I think he's got the stronger case to win the championship. I think he's going to have a better shot at winning. I think that it's kind of setting yourself up to fail and being in the mindset of something's going to happen because something's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's, well, they're still in contention, rather than when Oscar is 60 points ahead, 70 points ahead, and Lando would need 2 race wins and a DNF from his teammate, The bigger question to me, in just your recap and the way you phrased it, how long do you think they're going to be teammates for?
Oh.
Yeah. Is that too spicy?
That's an interesting thought. That's an interesting thought. I know we've been talking a lot about, or a little bit about, some silly season stuff, but I guess I hadn't really fully considered a moving away from them.
Yeah, and it only just came to me when you were going over that recap and saying, it's just a matter of when they come to blows, because I think Oscar's the stronger driver. I think Oscar's got the stronger attitude toward his position right now. And just his persona as just the laid back, nothing bothers me kind of guy. I mean, we saw his win celebrations are like, oh, yep, good job, everybody.
Won. Yeah.
We did what we were supposed to do. It's like he's so even keeled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him being the instigator of an outburst between the two, just because that doesn't seem like him.
Yeah.
But
Hungry
also,
dog runs faster.
Yeah, it's also like, what's going to happen there? What's that going to look like when, in my view, the eventuality happens and Lando's going to have to take a back seat and understand that he's a number two, Yeah. And everybody wants two number ones going at it, but he's kind of dog walked him, And I think that's what's going to happen over the rest of the season.
Sure, but I guess as you prompted, and I'm sitting here thinking about it, if you are McLaren, would you really want to get rid of Lando? Because no, of course not.
No,
but if you're Lando as well,
do you want to be there? If you're not that number one guy, do you want to be there?
Yeah, but it's still his best chance.
For now, we got new regulations coming. Yeah, to a certain degree.
I guess next season would tell. I don't know. If I'm McLaren, I don't know why I would want to get rid of him because, one, in a sense, you do have two number ones. But historically, you have Lando Norris, who has very much played a team game. Like, what comes to mind is, like, last year when it took him a while to give up the position to Piastri to get his win.
Was that playing a team game, though?
Well, he did it eventually. You can get into the semantics of how long it did take, but at the end of the day, he still gave up the position. You know what I mean? And that's been something we've brought up before on, like, would a killer, like, would Max do that? Max wouldn't do that. I don't think he would do that, but Lando did do that. And if we want to say Lando is the, you know what, no, you fucked up and now I'm going to take my win because of your mistake, then we'd be having a different conversation. So if I am McLaren, I know you have this guy who, while, there have been some moments that have come up, but that's just because you're the best now. You're seeing more of it. It seems like he is more than willing to be the team player. Think back to when Ricciardo won for McLaren. Like, Lando was very much faster than him in that race, but they were like, Lando, Daniel's leading. We're not going to ruin this. We're going to keep the 1-2. Fine, I will. Like, you have a guy who very much has done what you've wanted him to do the entire time, and then you have another guy who is absolutely destroying it out there on the track. So in McLaren, it feels like I have my dream lineup, and you have two guys who theoretically could win. It's not as, I don't want to say easy as it was with like Lewis and Valtteri.
Yeah.
But it feels pretty close to that.
Because there was such a serious skill difference between Lewis and Valtteri.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, one guy is here, the other guy is somewhere in here. On his day, he's really good and was good in qualifying, but wasn't Lewis fucking Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not necessarily trying to put Oscar and Lando in that kind of category, right? But I think that the question is like, okay, if one of them is going to prove to be soundly better than the other, how does the other take the back seat? How, like, what psychologically does that look like? Because Lando is talking about maybe having an outburst. And again, it was prompted by the media, and it wasn't anything that was other than him asking a question that somebody like not put a gun to his head, but you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he was just answering the question prompted to him, and it was addressed in the most team political answer you could have. Too. Yeah. It's not like he said anything that crazy, but more just, well, the words have now been said, out loud at this point in time. But to your point, like, yeah, if you are Lando, and putting it in football terminology for our Americans out there, it was, you were QB1, and now you have to be the backup to who was your backup. Like, yeah, you'd want to leave at that point in time. Yeah. So yeah, if there does become something clear like that, like, yeah, I guess I could see why Lando would want to move to be a team number one elsewhere. It's just, by that point in time, I don't know that it's going to be for a championship contender, Like, by that point in time, it's like, how about a nice midfield team for you,
And it could be, some kind of a championship contending drive comes up with these new regulations or something. Mm-hmm. And these guys are locked in for a couple of years. You know what I mean? These guys have long-term contracts. This is purely us spitting into the wind.
This is hilarious to say a long-term contract in F1 because that's like what,
and
5 years?
3 years, yeah.
That's
3
not
to 5 years.
Yeah. And all of those can be rescinded today if they wanted to.
That's
such a wild thing from going to like a baseball contract where Shohei signed for the next 12 years. Like what the fuck?
It's all deferred money.
Yeah. Brilliant move by him, by the way. But still. Yeah, it's just like a long-term contract in F1 is one of the funniest things in the world to me. It's like if it's not 7 years, I don't think you can say it's long-term.
I mean, how many drivers even get 7 years though?
I guess that's a good point. That's one thing about the sport that I'm still not fully used to. Those are very, very short timetables for drivers and their careers here.
And like Lewis and Fernando and
Nico
Vettel are
Hulkenberg
kind of outside the north. Nico fucking Hulkenberg. I don't know.
He's been around for forever at this point.
And what has he achieved?
Exactly. He's still around.
Exactly. No, but I mean, I think if a team comes up, they need a guy, Lando would be on their short list if he is in a number 2 position in the McLaren garage. You know, so that's the only kind of thing that I'm trying to throw out there. And obviously this is just speculation and us spitting into the wind, so we'll just have to see how it goes and how things develop. But I don't know.
Hopefully the wind's not blowing right into our faces.
Yeah. Hopefully, but it probably will be. So
you never know. If you're
listening to this 5 years from now, send us an email, backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com. What direction is the wind blowing? Do we have spit all over our faces?
Right.
Let us know.
We'll find out in 5 years' time. I thought this was kind of interesting. Verstappen owned up to his incident with Russell.
Did he do that deeper than in the Instagram post that he made, or?
I think that's mainly what they're referring to. I didn't click too much on it. I just know I saw the one headline that said Russell goes, I was kind of shocked. And then there was another one that said Verstappen owns up to incident. It was like, being a father has changed him.
I mean, I think with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty clear. And it's one of those, like, we've all had road rage. We've all been mad in the car. Like, that's all that happened.
Quite recently, in fact.
Yeah, well. The other fun little headline here I had for you was there was an interview with Hadjar today talking about what his thoughts would be on a promotion to the senior team. Did you see what he said?
No. Was it he said some interpretation of hell no?
Basically, he said, I would not be ready for this promotion and I would not want it. But he also said he'd be curious to know what it feels like, especially knowing Max is your teammate.
Yeah.
So, but he very much said, hell fucking no. Dear God, please no. Michael Scott, no. So, it's like, please, leave it alone. Just, please, brain, leave it alone. Okay. And there's your third little Dicky reference on this podcast of the same bit.
Wait, we've I thought you were talking about of this episode. Okay.
No, just in our history, which is not very long, so that means we're really beating pillow talking into the ground right now.
Could be worse.
Yes, it could be. How would you like to get into some stats and history / trivia here for yourself for the Canadian Grand Prix?
Are you gonna have me guess trivia?
Well, just the same as usual. Nothing too crazy. So we'll get into it. First of all, I'm very excited for this race specifically, the Canadian Grand Prix. It is a fun race. Last year's was epic. Last year's was a great race. A lot of good overtaking spots. Actually,
we need to go.
So I forgot. I put another poll out onto the interwebs for our fans to debate about the schedule change with Canada and the Indy 500 taking place at the same time. My results, I don't know how much I trust them based on the comments that were left on this one. So I said, which race would you watch? Indy 500 Canadian GP. That was the question on the page. But then the post that we have with it says, if the Indy 500 and Canadian Grand Prix started at the same time next year, which race would you watch? So I could have a longer form question there. I think some people were thinking like this year, like what are you going to be watching, which is not that great because someone just said I'm watching Le Mans. Cool. Not
Classic. Nice.
Not the same. That's not when that's
option
happening
C.
next year.
We love an option C.
Yeah, there are a few option C's. NASCAR. I got news for you. You can watch all of that. You can watch one of those two races, and you can watch NASCAR because that won't be the same thing. Did y'all forget Le Mans is happening or what? No, we did not. We did address this. Both races are amazing. Oh, this one actually did say. Someone said Indy, and then another person said F1 greater than. So, we did have a couple of things. At the moment, and I think I'm going to call the poll at this point in time because the numbers haven't changed a terrible amount. The Canadian Grand Prix is winning 62% of the Indy 500's 38%. So maybe we just have reached a good F1 crowd. I don't know. Maybe they're thinking like, why would I be watching the Indy 500? It's already happened, and I will watch the Canadian Grand Prix. So maybe not the best poll I've ever put out there, but I do find it interesting that if that is the case, is the Indy 500 going to have to eat their lunch a little bit? Is this the NFL taking over Christmas Day from the NBA?
Okay. First of all, the NFL did not take over Christmas Day.
It absolutely owns Christmas Day now.
Fuck the NFL. Okay, first of all, fuck.
First of all, protect the shield.
What does that even mean?
The NFL, the shield. That's their logo. Their logo is the shield. That's what people say when they defend the NFL. You got to protect the shield.
Okay, this is the first I'm hearing of this. Christmas Day NBA games are better than any Christmas Day football games.
That's just false. I watch those football games over any NBA game all day long. And the Lions are playing on Christmas this year too, so I'm definitely watching that.
That's stupid. They play on Christmas, on Thanksgiving.
Look, I'm not arguing with the fact that they are playing on two holidays now. You will never touch my Lions Thanksgiving Day game.
I like watching the Lions lose on Thanksgiving. It's
tradition unlike any other.
Yeah,
put them in that noontime slot. It's perfect.
There's nothing wrong with that, but like basketball is a Christmas gift to me. I get up, I have a cinnamon roll with my family, we fucking open gifts, we have a good time, and then I ignore them for the rest of the day watching basketball.
Well, you can still do that.
Yeah,
the NBA will still have games on Christmas. However, the NFL have cut them out of Christmas because everybody watches the NFL on Christmas this year, and the NBA did not.
I'm not gonna care about ratings. I can't.
Fair enough.
We're not gonna have this small market NBA Finals team discussion here. Oh, it's bad for the ratings.
Oh, who gives a shit about that? I just think it's funny that the NFL.
Those poor broadcasters.
Back to F1. This is another tangent that we've gone down. This is the Canadian Pontiac Grand Prix. And let's get into the now stats and history trivia portion of the Canadian Grand Prix. So, most polls in Canada. Who do you think has had the most polls in the history here?
That is a good question. Most polls in Canadian Grand Prix history. I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton.
He is one of the two.
One of the two? Hamilton and Schumacher, right?
You are correct. Yes, they both have 6. Who has the most wins in Canada?
Let's go Hamilton again.
And
Schumacher. There we go.
Schumacher. Yep.
There we go.
They both have 7. One more than their pole positions.
It's funny because I was gonna say Schumacher, but I'm like, no, we'll fucking run it back. Okay, that's good to know.
I feel like for a lot of these races, minus the newer ones, you could say like Hamilton, Schumacher, Senna, maybe, and you'll probably be right like 50-ish% of the time.
I don't know. Vettel had a good run
A spell.
there. Yeah.
It's fair.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Max is also putting his stamp on things.
Yeah, but he's more of like the recent tracks. Like the historical ones that have been on the calendar for longer than 2020, I'd say. He's not coming up as much, but when races have started primarily in 2020, it's Max. Yeah, he's making a stamp there for sure. This was fun. I didn't know this. Canada has held the longest race in F1 history. It was in 2011. It ran for 4 hours, 4 minutes, and 39 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And that is the reason that they have the 4-hour rule. You know about that, right?
I knew they had one, which is why I was confused by why that was able to run over.
Yeah. So basically, for those who don't know, races have to be run in a span of a maximum of 2 hours over the course of a 4-hour window. So that rule came about and started because of the rain at the Canadian Grand Prix. That was, what did you say, 2011?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That also, I think, was the one of the races where they changed something with the tires or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. But yeah, that's a fun fact.
Fun fact indeed. Last year, the race was home to 83 overtakes, and there's an 83% chance for a safety car and 50% chance for a virtual safety car. So, again, exciting race, a lot of overtaking. Mm-hmm. Because of that, a lot of chances for some bumps and bruises along the way and some wrecked cars, which we always like to see, as long as everybody's safe.
Thank you. There we go.
Your last 5 pole sitters, George Russell last year, Max, the 2 years prior to that. Then there was a gap because I forgot they didn't race here from 2020 to 2022, or 22. Yeah, 2022. So Sebastian Vettel was the pole sitter in 2018 and 2019 here. First time seeing his name pop up, which was fun. And then your last 5 winners, Max, Lewis, and then Vettel in 19 and 18. Max.
The better Max song.
I like both. Both are fun. They're just different vibes.
Yeah.
The Max, Super Max is like the fun, we're getting ready for the race. And then the duh, Max Verstappen. That's he won.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
All right. I like that. So there's your stats and history. There's a little trivia for you. What do you say we do our new segment?
We have a
F1
new segment?
Fantasy League.
It's a league now. Okay.
Well, between us. We're going to do it between us. That's what we're going to call it. All right. So we talked about this a little bit on the last episode. Ben and I have talked about it now. We have set up some rules for a new picks section.
I do not remember.
I will go through them for us. So for a new picks section that we're going to call our F1 Fantasy League. Because I don't know if they have one still, because I didn't look that up, nor do I know the rules to that. So we're going to make our own thing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick driver head-to-head matchups. So we're going to alternate in a snake draft style. So with this, you'll go first since you are thoroughly kicking my ass in our picks portion of this so far. So Ben, you'll make the first pick, then I'll make my first and second pick, then you'll make your second and third, me my third and fourth, you your fourth and fifth, and then I'll close it off. So we're going to be able to pick a driver and a team head-to-head matchup. Once a driver is selected, that full team and driver combo is off the board. So we will have to pick all 10 teams by this, 5 to each of us. The way scoring is going to work on this, based on finishing results in the race, we're going to assign 20 points to first place, down to 1 point for the 20th place finisher. 0 points will be awarded for the driver if they do not finish the race in any manner. And then scoring for our league will work where point differential between the driver you picked and their teammate. So say, for example, you picked Oscar Piastri in this weekend. He wins the race. Lando Norris finishes in third. Piastri scored 20, Norris 18. Ben, you'd get 2 points from that. You're going to tally your total scores from all 5 of your picks, and whoever has the most points at the end of the week will win that. And then going forward, I say we pick the orders week to week here based on overall record. And if we end up tied, we can do total points for a tiebreaker.
Sound good. Cool?
All right.
Yeah.
And then if we still have, if we're still tied after that point in time, I say you and I will just go based on our overall picks record from the places where you can bet money on this. And then that'll probably be you picking first because I'm awful this season. So,
Okay.
with that, what do you say we make our first picks in this inaugural league here?
All right. This is a lot of pressure.
I'm excited for this.
I feel like I have a tenuous grasp on what the rules are.
Do you have any clarifying questions that you'd like to bring up then?
Yes. What is going on?
We're doing our draft right now. We're doing the snake draft.
Yes.
Don't get lost in the snake.
I'm
common.
Completely lost. Snake drafts don't confuse me that much. I'm more the scoring system. We talked about it for several hours last night, and I still did not really understand it, but that's okay.
Okay.
So
do you want to review
with that in mind, absolutely not. This is a vibes-based program.
For the record, that with the way we are scoring it does mean you can get negative points. So you're trying to pick the driver who you think is going to finish higher than their teammate. That is your goal here. Yes. You want them to finish ahead because you could lose points if they don't.
Correct.
Yes.
With that in mind.
Yes. Are you ready for your first pick?
In the inaugural. See, now I need to be booed like the commissioner when he comes out.
But you're not the commissioner.
I am, to be clear. Let's just get that. All right, thank you. Thank you. I needed this. I am going to take Maximilian Verstappen.
There it is.
From the Red Bull Racing team. I think, as much as I am a Yuki fan, I think he's going to boat race him.
It has not been great. Yes, I would say that is a fantastic 1-1 overall pick there.
Yeah. Which means Red Bull is off the board. Red Bull has been decided. I've got Max, you've got Yuki.
No, you just have Max Yuki matchup. I am not involved in that whatsoever.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yep. So,
and I still don't know the rules of this shit. Yeah, we made the rules, and I don't know the rules.
It's okay. We're working through it. All right. Okay. So with Red Bull Racing off the board, I'm looking through the teams right now and what I think is going to happen. I'm thinking about trends that have been going on here recently. I think I'm going to go to the junior team. And I think I'm going to take Isaac Hadjar over
man,
Liam
that's a
Lawson.
good pick. He was on my list. He was on my big board.
Was he?
Yeah.
Would you say the other 8 teams were on your big board too?
oh, definitely. No, I mean, in terms of drivers, because I mean, he has done thoroughly pretty well against head
to head.
Whoever his teammate is this week.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, I am going to stay in that ilk.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick Fernando.
Ooh.
Yep. I'm glad that my cousin Lance is back
in racing.
I'm glad that he's had his wrists fixed. Hopefully, I still think he's going to get rolled up and smoked.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I am gonna stick near the bottom of the table here as well.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the team and drivers here. And I think I'm going to take Nico Hülkenberg.
Ooh, okay.
I think I'm going to take Nico here. He's driven a lot better than Gabriel and has put in some performances where the gap has been much larger than expected between the two for the performance for the machinery that they're working with there. Plus senior vet versus new rookie. So I'm gonna go Hülkenberg here. Oh, okay. We got lost in the snake. We didn't do this right. So we're gonna abandon that. We're gonna stick with every other. Because I was supposed to pick 2 right away. So
damn.
We're just alternating. We're alternating. It's
That's
fine.
my bad. I fucked it up.
I forgot too. See, I told you it's easy to get lost in the snake, and we got lost in the snake right away. We missed it right away. So with your third pick, who would you like to take?
That's a good question. Let's pick Alex Albon. Let's pick Albon to beat Sainz. Sorry, Carlos.
Yeah, he has been doing better than him. Excuse me. That's good for me because this was the other guy I was debating between. I'm taking Pierre Gasly.
Good pick. Good pick.
Pierre Gasly. It's Daniel Ricciardo's way of saying it.
I'm glad that you clarified because I was not sure if that or you were just doing your bird calls that you were practicing.
To be fair, a horrible impression of Daniel Ricciardo saying Pierre Gasly. But now I have Daniel Ricciardo's two favorite driver names to say on my team this week, so I'm very happy about that.
I wonder what he's up to.
I don't know if this was from this weekend, but I saw a video of him saying that to Pierre at the track, and it looked like it could have been from this weekend. So he might just be hanging out. I don't know. Maybe you'll see him at a Buffalo Bills game this year with Josh Allen. He's got some time.
Yeah, he's got some time. I want him to do IndyCar and NASCAR so badly.
Dude, I want to see him in NASCAR so badly. He loves it. He's a Dale Earnhardt guy. That's why he's number 3. You know?
There we go. I'm sending him a message right now. He's got his DMs open on Instagram.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I have actually been sending Mr. Ricardo several messages trying to get him to give me a tattoo.
Oh, nice.
On
the pod. We'll do a live tattoo on the pod.
Oh, no, we are not doing that.
Why not? That'd be epic.
That. I'm not doing that.
Think about the numbies.
I don't give a fuck about that. I do not want me getting a tattoo recorded. That's no fun. Well, I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm not a bitch. Well, I mean, maybe. I don't. We'll talk. We'll see what he says. Okay. He's got to answer my DMs first. I've sent him 169 messages.
That's commitment right there.
Because I'm counting as I go.
There you go.
So, okay.
With your fourth pick, sir.
With my fourth pick, I am going to take. I can't segue this from talking about Ricardo. Actually, I can, because I'm going to pick his former team, but not his former teammate.
You're going Oscar?
Oscar to beat Lando.
Oscar. Somebody gotta do it. All right. He's taking Oscar. I appreciate you doing that for me because I didn't have it in my heart to pick against him, but I felt like I might have had to go that way. All right, looking at the board, what do we got left here?
You took Kick Sauber. I took Williams.
Yes. I see
the Ferraris are still on the board.
Ferrari, Mercedes, and Haas are who's left on the board, and that is a tough selection there. He hasn't done it yet. They've been kind of.
Oh, you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say, aren't you?
I'm between two. God. I'm going to take George Russell.
Oh! I did not think you were going to say that. I thought you were going to pick Antonelli. No. I would have picked Antonelli.
No, he hasn't beaten George in a race yet. Right, so I'm going to go with trends here.
Okay, all right.
Trying to get points. I want to lose points. Watch, he's gonna win this weekend or something like that.
You're saying it now.
Your last pick, sir. Down to
my
2.
last pick.
Do you want the Payne or the Junior Payne?
I'm ready to get hurt again, Derek. I'm ready to get hurt again. Let's go with fuck. I can't even say it, but Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
I'm saying it. I'm doing it.
There's a pick that might make or break the weekend. Because that has been with the way we're going to score this, that's one of the top teams where, outside of Max, that there's been a little bit more of a gap there, but it's been for Charles, not for Lewis overall.
I know.
So maybe. We'll see.
I know, and I hope he gets it figured out. I hope he bucks to the trend, and I hope that I don't regret this pick, even though I already do. So
that leaves me, I get to decide between Ocon and Behrman.
I know which way I'm going.
This is really good podcasting right now. It's just me thinking quietly.
Hey, man, we've had a lot of moments of silence on this program.
Horn went out for the homies.
No. Just awkward pauses, pregnant pauses, tension.
I'm going to Akon.
All right.
I'm going to
There
Akon.
we go.
Form's been a little bit more consistent there from him recently, but I could see that very easily going Behrman as well. Yeah. So we shall see. But yeah, okay. So those are our inaugural fantasy picks. So yeah, team head to head. So the drivers we picked, we want to finish ahead of their teammates, and their point differential will determine our total points for the week. We'll see where that gets us.
There we go.
We'll report back to you after the race on that one. But that now gets into our big picks for the weekend.
The big picks.
And we're going to start. Who do you think is going to be our race winner here in Canada?
You want to go or you want me to go?
I want you to go.
Oscar
Piastri. I kind of had a feeling you're going to say that.
Yep.
Oscar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I have thought about this a lot today, and I'm still not firmly decided on what I think for this weekend because it is a good race.
Let's talk it out.
It's a good race. It's a good track. A lot can happen here. Granted, Max has been dominant, but it was in a much different car. We have less bendy front wings. We have less bendy front wings. I don't know what that means exactly. Did nothing change from last week?
Nothing really.
With that, nothing really changed. Not last week, 2 weeks ago, or last race. So, okay, so this is what's happened to me the last few times I've gone off of picking Lando. He has won when I did not want to pick him. And I've been leaning against picking him all day. But sometimes you can't be afraid to fade yourself. And because I didn't want to pick him, I think that means I need to pick him this week. So I'm picking Lando Norris again.
There we go. Hope you're right.
We shall see.
But not really, because that
what
would mean I was wrong.
There.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yes,
margin of victory is usually your next segment, right?
Yes, margin of victory. Under 5 seconds, between 5 and 10 seconds, or greater than 10 seconds.
You go first on this one.
I like the under 5 on this one. It is a good race. Last year was close between Max and Lando for first and second. It was like a 3-second gap or so. I think if you have a battle between the McLarens at the front again, like we have seen a lot, those have been relatively close races when that does happen. So I like the under 5 seconds because of all those reasonings.
Yeah, I was going to pick that, and I did not have extensive reasoning like you did. I was just going based off of vibes. That under 5 second margin of victory feels right.
Well, your vibes have been amazing so far this year, so I'm going to say that you're probably right on that. So you are going to do under 5 as well. Just jot the note down here, under 5 seconds. Okay, so that way when we put our graphic out there, we have. Well, we can do that as a bonus pick if you want this year.
Is that not the other pick? Did I screw this up?
Classified finishers is usually our next one. I am pulling up the line because I actually didn't find that yet. So let me pull this up. Number of classified finishers is, per usual, kind of what I was expecting. Set at 18.5 again for us this weekend. So over or under 18.5 finishers. What do you think?
I'm feeling over.
You like the over. Okay.
I'm thinking it's going to be 19 classified finishers.
Alrighty. I have the under on that one.
Okay. Hopefully I'm wrong, but like I said, the most important thing is that everybody comes home safe. So,
well, if you are following our picks and you have been tailing Ben, you really don't want him to be wrong because dude has been absolutely making a killing for you. So, again, if we're going to follow trends, I'm probably wrong on everything, minus maybe the margin of victory because we're the same there, and we have differences in the other two categories, per usual.
Or it means we're both wrong on margin of victory.
Unless we're both wrong on margin of victory. That's always a possibility too, but probably not. We're usually getting one of those, right? But do you think there'll be a safety car this weekend? It's a good chance for it.
I think so. Yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be a safety car. Not a
Fair
VSC,
enough.
full safety car.
Full safety. I like it. It makes it more exciting when that does happen.
Yeah, the virtual safety car is understandable,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual safety car, classic. I mean, there's no.
Yeah.
Why change it? I don't know. I like the
Why mess
addition
with
of
the
the
good
VSC.
thing?
Makes it a little more exciting. NASCAR does it on purpose. Shit.
Yeah,
So.
Dude, a NASCAR race is so different because they've got the phases now. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
the phases or the stages. Sorry, not phases.
Yeah.
They got stages. So there's built-in times throughout. So they're really not making green flag stops anymore. Or not as many as they used to. Yeah. So you have built-in times for them to all come into the pits. It's interesting. I haven't watched a NASCAR race in a while to know what actually. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah.
Good stuff. There
Good
we
stuff
go.
right there for you. Anything else you got before the weekend ahead for us here in Canada?
I think that's it. Honestly, I'm excited to watch this race. It should be a pretty good one, and we'll just have to see how it goes, man.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, no, love it. Like Canada, good track, good racing historically here, and hopefully we get a banger. That'd be awesome.
I feel like we will. I feel like it'll be a good one.
Hell yeah.
So,
Well, we'll see y'all after the race for our debrief there, and enjoy your weekend.
yeah, fire up the grill.
Love that.